Hello, and welcome to the Our Orlando.
We're back with Tracy and Ron for our usual weekly natter.
Yes.
Natter is what we do. Yes.
Nattering.
Nattering and drinking tea.
Drinking tea.
As
Very
usual.
British.
Very
Cheers.
British. Cheers.
Oh, good tea.
Lovely tea.
Good tea.
So I've written some notes this week, just because we do that.
Yeah,
In
because
our
we
new
forget.
book. Look at that. Thank you, Katie. Our Orlando notebook. Thank you very much to our
Cool.
lovely friend Kate for making that for us.
So I'll put the notebook.
Open the notebook. Very official.
Cool. So this week we were deciding, we were talking about the blog and we were looking at places to stay, and this is sort of in part, it sort of came from talking to Ash and Tiff over the last few weeks, and my son always keeps saying to me, Dad, keep doing the lottery because I need you to buy me a house on Highlands Reserve or Champions Gate. So I've got a golf course in my back garden, and I'm
That's
like,
true.
mate, I'm trying my best.
Yeah, we're doing our best, son.
Best.
Yeah, so, but it just got us to talking about, where we'd stayed over the years, because we both went to Orlando originally years and years ago, and we've stayed in lots of different places, and we were just thinking which are our favourites, and lots of them, we do have favourites, and we do have favourite ways to holiday, but actually having tried lots of different things, it's made us probably, it kind of narrows the field a bit, doesn't it? So you think to yourself, well, I'd like to do that again, but I wouldn't stay there again, or I would do this now, or I wouldn't do that, or the more you go,
the area as well, because the first time you go, you're like, everybody wants to jump bang in the middle of the thick of it, and everybody's like, yeah, I'm staying on iDrive, and I'm like, oh, that's brilliant, but it's not for me, because having stayed on iDrive a few times, it is brilliant, and you are, like I say, in the thick of it, but you get to realise then just how busy iDrive is, and because you've got the I4 not very far away, the traffic noise is vicious, because you've got all the locals early in the morning and late at night as well, coming and going, and you know.
iDrive doesn't sleep really.
No.
Is what is the thing. So
especially now with all the new stuff that's got on iDrive.
but then you've got that conversely, in that if you're staying on iDrive and you don't really like driving in Orlando and you want to be close to stuff, most of the hotels there are probably fairly reasonable price compared to others. They'll all have pools, they'll all have facilities, they'll nearly all lay on transport.
Yeah, well, if they don't lay on transport,
parks.
you can like jump in a lift. I mean, before this, I've just been like looking, I've got the lift app on my phone, and I've put in, say, the quality, the Rose and Inn there, it used to be the Quality Inn International.
Because that's where you first stayed,
The first stage, yeah. So I put from the Rose and Inn to Universal, and it was like $12.
Yeah.
So if you've got three people in the car, $4 each.
Yeah.
Cheap as chips.
It is. So it has that, and of course the new stuff that's there, all the Icon Park, all the new restaurants, all of that. You are in the thick of it. You could quite easily,
just
jump
stay on iDrive,
stay there, jump on and off the iDrive trolleys, and you've got cheap transportation options. You've got all sorts of things. So from that point of view, it's really convenient, really useful. But it is also very busy, and you don't get a lot of quiet. So if you've got very young children and you're trying to get them to sleep,
there's hustle and bustle all the while. You've got with the quality, and there's always like a door being slammed or somebody like like troops of people walking past your room. It's like the rooms are nice. They're decent sized rooms for a family.
I don't know, it's got a pool, that place.
It's got several pools, because the way it's done like in different areas, so each sort of area, triangle, has got a big pool with it, so there's nice big pools there.
Yeah,
nice
so that's good. So it's pretty much got everything you need, so it's an option. And it still is an option in that, if you're looking for a reasonable way to get to Orlando, you will probably find a very reasonable holiday.
Definitely.
And they're perfectly adequate and perfectly acceptable.
I mean, people I work with at JAG, a couple of them were staying on iDrive for this year. It's all been cancelled, obviously. But the one lad says to me, so I'm not having a car, we're just going to get the taxi from the airport to the hotel, and that's it. We're just going to use Lyfts or Ubers. If you want to do that, and the iDrive trolley, if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine.
Right, yeah.
Because a lot of it, with iDrive, you could eat in a different restaurant every night for your 2 weeks and still not get bored of where you're eating, because there's so many
And there's lots of other things and attractions to do, in the area. So you could quite easily do that without driving much. And I think particularly if you're young,
just too much
if you're younger and obviously under 25, hiring a car in Orlando is a bit costly. So if you are young, which some of these co-workers were, then I could understand them wanting to pay the extra for.
Yeah, because it works out like £300 or £400.
It's a lot extra. I know it's a lot extra.
$4, so expensive. For what it is.
So my first stay there was in a condo. It was a 2-storey condo. Ours was on the second floor, and you kind of went up the stairs outside, up to the second floor. It looked lovely. It looked like little cottages from the outside. I know it was in Kissimmee, but I could not take you there if my life depended on it because I went with my parents and an aunt and uncle, and I had never been before, and so only my uncle drove. It was a 6-person, an 8-person car, and only he drove. So when you're not driving, you don't tend to pay attention to where you are. I know it was Kissimmee.
You just more stuck in the window.
Yeah, look at that. Amazing. This is amazing. Yeah. So I think that was pretty much how it was. It was lovely. Big spacious bedrooms. Big washer and dryer and everything. It got everything you needed. And certainly the resort had got pool and clubhouse and gym and all of that, so it was perfectly adequate. When I look back on it now, I think for 6 adults it was probably a bit, because you'd only got 1 lounge and maybe 2 bathrooms, so I think probably with hindsight it was a little small for 6 adults, but again perfectly adequate. I cannot remember how much it was. I know it wasn't that expensive. Maybe it was at the time, but
we're going back to the days when it was $2 to the pound as well, wasn't it?
That is
the good
true.
Old days.
That is true.
Got to kill for that now.
And I just remember we'd get in the car and we'd be somewhere in 10 minutes, whether it was like Disney or Universal or various other places we went to. And so I think it was pretty central to everything. So there are a lot of condos, hotels, villas. Places to rent in around that area, and you can get some quite townhouses and everything. You can, even if you want to self-cater, you don't have to have a massive big villa.
Townhouse, I think townhouse is a good idea. It's just a couple. I mean, we've gone down the villa route quite a few times now, but the townhouse is something we never looked at. And then when you look at it, you go,
it's quite useful.
Yeah, that's actually quite handy, because if you don't want your own pool and you just want a shared pool, you don't, because. Let's face it, you don't actually spend that much time in the pool. I usually spend more time just dipping my feet in, drinking a bottle of beer after the day in the parks, instead of having a swim. So if you just want to share somewhere, but you need a nice apartment, I think the townhouse is the way to go.
And condos, really, we haven't looked at that properly.
No.
The first time you and I went together, we just booked. It was only a smallish villa, wasn't it? But it did have its own pool.
3-bedroom, was it?
It was 3-bedroom, but and it was lovely. So we haven't really looked at the condo and townhouse route since, but there were loads.
Did David Lee have one?
Yeah, we told them about that. They stayed at Legacy Park, I think, in a townhouse.
Yeah, not far, because we were driving past it the one day, so that's where they stayed.
It was probably it was about £600 or £700 cheaper than having a villa.
Yeah.
Which, if you're a family of 4, that's that's a couple of Disney tickets, isn't it, for the kids, or it's spending money.
2/3 of the flight.
Exactly. So there are options. I suppose, after that, really, I was spoiled, because in all of these visits that we're talking about now were in previous lives with previous people and families, and so I was lucky enough to have use of a family villa for a good 10 years. So that was on the route on Highway 27, which is now Davenport, which is really where we stay these days generally.
Love the area.
We were really lucky to have the use of that. So we'd go, then the flights, you could get a flight for like 289 quid, 300 odd quid.
And if you wanted to split one as well and change it in New York or somewhere like that, you could get it even cheaper. Yeah.
Detroit, we always used to fly to Detroit.
That was it,
bizarre reason. Anyway, you could get a flight for like 200 and something pounds. So we'd go 2 or 3 times a year and not always do the park, but just mooch around in that area. And that's probably why I know the area so well, because we'd go for like a 3-week holiday and just live like locals. We'd just go to the supermarket and go to the beach and sit by the pool and chill, like as if you're in Spain or somewhere like that. We didn't always do theme parks, and also because we weren't paying for accommodation, we would then book a flight from there, say over the Florida Keys or into Miami and things like that. So I got to see a lot more of, you know, Florida because we didn't have to pay for accommodation.
That always makes me laugh when people say, "Oh, I'm staying in Florida." How long, and you literally get every person say, "How long does it take to drive to Miami?" You're like,
it's not that long actually.
It's a bit of a drive.
It's a bit of a drive.
It's a good day's drive.
It's a fair few hours, but you know, it's not safe.
It's not a day trip, is it?
Well, you could do it in a day, but you wouldn't want to. I mean, you couldn't drive. You could drive there in a day. I mean, you wouldn't want to drive and come back.
That's what I mean.
Oh no.
No, it's not a day trip.
No, you'd have to stay overnight. No. But so yeah, that's how come I know that area, that Davenport area, so well. And to be fair, when I had use of that family home, there was probably about a quarter of the resorts there that are now compared to now. I mean, because the
weight's changed.
Yeah, Highlands Reserve was definitely there, and a few of the others were. But I mean, when I was staying at this house, we watched the Solana Resort being built. Every time we went back, there was a bit more of the Solana Resort. Now there's another 2 past that.
Yeah. I mean, when we go sort of go every other year.
Yeah.
And you look, and we'll drive down. And like the one year we were coming driving in there, you can see all these new off ramps being built on the I4. On the I4. Then the next time we went, it was like, well, okay, there's a new estate there, and there's a new estate over there, and there's something else being thrown up, because it doesn't take them long, does it, to build? Because they're like timber-clad houses with an external sort of like things sort of going. So it doesn't take them that long, really.
No.
So
that's how really we've ended up staying a lot of times in villas in the Davenport area. It's because I know it well, but also, well, we both know it well now, but because, and we don't mind driving. No. That's the other thing.
That's part of the charm of the holiday.
Yeah. If you're not keen on driving, then maybe it's not the place for you. But it's not too far. I mean, you're only driving, 15 minutes from Walt Disney World. Yeah. Maybe half an hour, 35 minutes from Universal.
Yeah, we always say to people, don't we, like, if you're going to stay, what we explain to people, imagine that's like the road, you'll get like 27, the I4 and the 192, so you're sort of like, we're in the middle, so Disney and get that way or that way to Universal on the I4. We just literally use 3 roads all the way, don't we? Pretty
and
much,
I mean,
that's it.
In that area, there's lots of those, what they call strip malls, where you've got like,
nails and doctors and vets and bars and hair places.
That's right, and then they've got you've got like your Berry Town Centre, which is where the Publix and all of that is, and the
love that place,
and Applebee's and whatever.
Publix,
and then you go a bit further, you've got Kagan's Crossing, which is where the big Walmart is, and again that was when I first started going to that area. There was just the Walmart and a DIY store.
Is it Lowe's Furniture?
And then now on the opposite side of the road, there's a whole resort sprung up there. It's full of bars and restaurants and things to do, places to go. So everything is developing. But so you've pretty much got everything you need within about a 10-15 minute drive of where you are. So for us, it works well because I love the whole theme park experience. I love the noise, the hustle, the bustle, the liveliness, the thing. But when I'm done with it and I'm tired,
I'm done. That's it.
I want to go back to somewhere quiet, and I want it to be dark at night and quiet at night. I don't want to hear noise. I don't want to see flashing lights. I don't want to hear people. I just want it to be quiet.
Just the cicadas.
Peaceful, yes. And so the villa holiday for me works best because definitely. I like that going back to your own place. You haven't got to find a place by the pool because you've got your own pool. You haven't got to, think about going to buy a drink to see whether, you just go to the fridge, get your drink, sit outside, have
I often describe it as like pulling the battery out the clock.
Yeah.
You just stop time because you come back from the parks or come back from your day out or wherever you've been. You go back and you're like, right, what are you going to do now? Whatever you want, basically. Get your cup of tea, get your bottle of beer. Sit there, you can either lie by the pool or, like I said, just sit with your feet in the pool, just sitting there, just thinking.
Swim.
There you go. Life is good.
Bob about on your lilo for a bit.
Or your noodles.
Or your noodles.
Noodles, that's a big important purchase.
Oh, I love a noodle. Straight to Publix, get me noodles.
Get about 3 noodles minimum. Knees, back and head.
Correct. And then I can just
3 minimum.
Float around to my heart's content. Yeah. I am quite often to be found wrapped in noodles in the pool. Yeah. Lovely. So so I do like the whole villa thing. So it's taken some persuading on Rob's part to get me to depart from the villa thing for our next thing. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. If it's not fine.
Yeah, well, I'm paying for the holiday, so it don't really matter. But the reason we've done it going into a hotel this time is because where I work at Jaguar Land Rover, we have to have the main 2 shut down weeks. And as anybody know, it's does get a bit mental, busy-wise.
Usually.
So what we were thinking is the plan of, well, my idea mainly wasn't, I did actually convince Tracy in the end to think about it. So if we stay in a Walt Disney World hotel, or an affiliate, or whatever you want to call it, because we had this the official hotel, is that we get the extra Magic Park hours, we get the extended hours, we get early admission, we get the use of transport from Walt Disney World, from the hotel to there, you know, we can just, and staying at Disney, we love Disney Springs as well, so it'd be nice just to stay somewhere, we just like get back, like come back from the park or somewhere on the official Disney bus and go, we'll tell you what, we'll jump off at Disney Springs, we can have a wander, grab something to eat, grab a Starbucks, I know it kills me saying that, but it's now Costa's out there, but sorry Costa, grab a Starbucks or go somewhere, grab a bit of pizza and then just wander back over the bridge to the hotel, then shower, chill, by their big pool, they've got a beautiful pool at the Holiday Inn, to be fair.
It does look nice.
And then maybe wander back at night time, visit George Malautis at Wine Bar George, say hello, and you can have your frosé, is it? Frosé, yeah, I can have my I was going to say bottle of Bacchus, that's bad. A glass of Bacchus.
Glass of wine he's talking about there.
Yeah, well that's about $200 in there.
That's what dreams are made of, isn't it?
But it's just purely ease of what we want to do.
Yeah.
Because we'll be pretty much central. And to be fair, where Disney Springs is, it's not that far from the I-4, so when we are going to Universal, you literally pop out and you pop onto the I-4 down
It's perfectly situated. I'm excited to try it, I really am, because I want to try new things and I want to not be stuck in my way, so I am excited about it.
And we have got a nice room as well, to be fair. We've got like a room, instead of having like 2 double beds in the room, we've mentioned the room's got 1 double bed and we've got a writing desk, chairs, sofas.
Table.
I hate the thing where you go to a hotel room, you go, you got
to sit on the bed.
You sit on the bed all the while, it drives me mad.
We like a chair or
it drives me mad. You sit on the bed. To me, that's not relaxing. I like to sit on a sofa and sit there, or because we're going to be doing like the blogging and the vlogging whilst we're in there. I just want to sit at the desk so I can just plug a few things in, get stuff charged up, write a few little bits, and then.
And we've got we've got the balcony, so we've got our the outside space is a thing for me.
Thought the cat just
zoomed past. I don't know what she's tracing. So I'm looking forward to. We've got some outside space, so we can do that. Sit and have our morning cup of tea in the peace and quiet. So.
That's my thing. That's what I love in the villas. Is much to the annoyance of Tracy.
It isn't to my annoyance at all.
Well, okay then. I usually get up at cock crow in Orlando because I just love that bit where you get up and the sun is just literally coming up. I got my cup of coffee, I got my Kindle because I'm famous for my Kindle at work. Kindle Rob they call me. So I get my coffee, got my Kindle. I'm outside, sitting there. It's warm, it's lovely. The sun's just coming up. There's no noise. You just like
smell the orange groves.
Smells the orange groves. You
watch the hot air balloons.
Yeah. And when we stayed on Highlands Reserve, the one house we had was. Literally on the back of the golf course, so like 7 in the morning, 6:30, 7 in the morning, you could hear people shouting, "God damn it!" as they hooked the ball or sliced it. I think it was on the 9th or 10th hole who was by, so you could hear them like chatting away and then jumping
in the little golf buggies,
and then sitting there with them. What was those massive, huge birds that keep walking up to them?
They keep walking up to the lanai.
The lanai, like sitting there, like just like giving us a stink.
They've got those massive, big orange. Thin beaks.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but they stand and they literally do that.
Yeah, give me a stink eye.
Looking at you like that, it's the weirdest thing.
But it's beautiful just to sit there at the start of the day, and you just sit there, you just go, this is why I've worked so hard for the 12 months, 18 months, earning the money for this, because just to sit there and go, I could actually live here. I mean, it'd be different if you was living there and working for a living, but just the fact you're there, and you're just chilled, there's nothing else to do, you got your coffee, got your Kindle or your book or whatever, you just like cool. And like Tracy some mornings gets up, you get up with me sometimes, don't you? You go and do some yoga.
I go and do yoga or I go for a swim. I do both actually, I do a bit of yoga to, just limber up for the parks.
In the park,
I need to limber up, get those joints and ready.
But it's a beautiful way to start the day.
It is.
Got your cup
and that's
of tea.
what I'm worried I'm going to miss in the hotel. That's what I'm worried about missing. But we won't know till we try, will we? Because it might be, it might, we might miss those things, but it might open up a whole lot more things that you...
But there's more, like I say, we've purely done it just for the time of year we've got to go.
And we don't know how that's going to change, obviously, because the reasons we booked it may not be, the early fast pass booking and all that may not be, not be needed. But I'm still keen to stay in Disney and try something.
Yeah, definitely.
Because having stayed in Disney... in Walt Disney World on Disney property. Both
Yeah,
times at the All-Star Resort, I have to say, which is obviously the budget end of things.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely not criticising them. I'm absolutely not. We had super holidays there, times we stayed. But for me, there's just too many people there. Too many people, too much noise, too much. And because it's, I suppose, at the budget end of, you know, it is quite cute and kitchen, the decor and everything, but it is full in your face, primary colours,
Yeah.
you know, theming. And I think
There's no escape from the Disney-ness
no,
of it.
no,
You know, it's like I was talking to a guy at work, he went on a Disney cruise, and as much as he loves a cruise, he said, you're opening your door and it's like, Disney!
yeah.
And you turn the corner, Disney! And you sort of, after the week, you're like,
Well,
okay, I want to be a bit more grown up now.
certainly the budget end of the resorts, and they are perfectly lovely. I'm not deterring anybody.
But to be fair
from
though,
going
when you
there.
drive past them, they
Fabulous.
look mint down there as you go
Fabulous.
past.
It was just things like, I mean, you obviously can eat at any Disney resort, so we could have quite easily gone to and booked ourselves into whatever, you know, Caribbean beach for a dinner, which we did.
Yeah.
But breakfast, you kind of want to get up, get your breakfast, and get into the parks early, because that's the point of you staying there partly. And so you go into this, like, what can only be described as an enormous canteen.
It's like a works canteen, basically.
And the noise in there is phenomenal. And the food, I'm not criticising that either. It's good.
It's
you
good
can
food,
go to a fresh omelette station. You can get your omelette made. You can get but you are wandering about with the tray, and it's just there's just people
like being at work.
everywhere. It's so loud.
Yeah.
And
They can always it's always like very shopping mall-esque.
Yeah.
So it's tall ceilings and not a lot of stuff in there, and you always get the kids like running and screaming like Bob Howlers and running
so
around,
excited and everything.
and they're really
I get
excited.
it.
You sort of sit there
To be
going,
fair, I'm pretty excited myself. But
Yeah.
you know, it's just that whole in the morning, and perhaps it's because I'm older, you know. But
Yeah.
I just like a bit of peace and quiet in it. And so the idea of having to go from that hotel to another one to get a quieter breakfast is perhaps a bit.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I think things have changed a little bit in terms of, you know, what you do, where you get your food and what have you. And also, there are Disney resorts that are much less Disney. If you go to the higher end of things, if you go to the themed resorts like Riviera, which does look like the Riviera, and
it's all done much more subtly.
yes,
isn't it?
it's you know Disney, but it's not full in your face.
It's more nuanced.
Yeah,
is that
but,
the word?
but
Yeah,
the
more
thing is
nuanced.
with for those resorts, to be honest, for us, they're out of our price range.
Yeah, where's the
So
the one that's set in that massive big new housing estate? They're all like £1.5 million houses.
oh yeah, I can't
Where Tim
remember what
Tracker
that's
went.
called. I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't remember what that
that's
was called.
an official Disney hotel, but that's
Mega bucks.
that's mad
I mean,
money.
you know, you
Mad money.
if you go to the Grand Floridian,
I'll find out which one that is. I'll put that in there.
if you go to the Grand Floridian, have a look round, or Riviera. I mean, we've been to the resort. Well, we haven't been to Riviera yet, but we go to these resorts and have a look round, and we've eaten at these places, and we go for a mooch round. But if you stay in those resorts, it's a much different feel to staying at like.
Yeah. Well, we always said like when you go
end.
through, what's the one the monorail goes through?
The Contemporary.
The Contemporary. I mean, as fun as that looks, everything's decent there. The monorail goes through. Would you like to have your room there? You've got a kid, you're trying to get a kid to sleep, and you've got people down in the atrium laughing, joking, screaming, come on, wave your cloth in the air, it's your birthday, you're doing all this, it's brilliant. And then you've got stuff coming through and people, and then the rooms are to the side. I mean, that's quite an expensive resort as well, isn't it?
It is a very expensive resort.
It's an expensive
one of the
resort,
higher end ones. I mean,
yeah.
I'd love to stay in some of them, and I hope,
one
day that we may get to stay at one of them, even if it's only for a few days. I hope we will. But for the last few years, I've pretty much avoided the whole Disney hotel thing, because my only experience is staying at the All Stars resorts. Which, if you've got young kids and if you want to be in the thick of it, you don't want to drive, will be absolutely right up your street.
It's the Hilton. The Hilton's on Golden Oaks.
Oh,
Golden Oaks. If you ever get 5 minutes,
Golden Oaks.
look up Golden Oaks Estate, Walt Disney World.
Check it out.
It's some of the houses there. Oh my.
Heavens, would like to stay there. We've also never stayed at Universal Resort.
Which I would like to do. But
that is definitely on our list. And that whole waking up to what hotel is it where it's at Volcano Bay? You literally open the window and you've got the the volcano there. You can ask for a volcano.
It might be Aventura.
I don't know which one of them.
Well, we watched Rick Flicks do, didn't they? They stayed and you can choose like the Volcano Bay side.
The view,
And you go at the hotel and the hotel's literally got an entrance that
goes
a side door goes straight into Volcano Bay. So we'll put that in there as well.
So that is definitely on our list. That would definitely is making a note in our new notebook from Kate. We're definitely looking at that for a future visit. I think when I first started going to university, they only probably had the 2 resorts. They had Portofino, and I can't remember what the other one was. But they didn't really have that many resorts, and this last sort of 5 to 10 years we've watched them, and their resorts have come on, and then now, then they're getting up. They've obviously realised, like Walt Disney World did some years ago, that if you can get people on site all the time and not leaving the site, then you're onto a winner. So this year aside, with all the nonsense and all the upset and the whatever, but generally speaking, the resort hotels are full and busy, and especially in holiday times.
Yeah, that's the one reason. But
Universal definitely on our list.
Yeah, Universal looks really good because Universal as well, because you use the they have a boat taxi as well, don't they?
Yeah, you can use both. There's transportation. You get you get express passes and all that. So
that's the high end one. That is. There's 2 high end hotels for Universal, but with ours ones.
But they're still fairly reasonable compared to.
Yeah, compared to
Walt Disney World.
Walt Disney. I mean, you say it's expensive, but if you look at an expensive Walt Disney World hotel compared to a Universal hotel, there's a bit of a
difference.
There's not much parity between them. There's a big change.
Imagine that there's more facilities.
But the only thing I've seen, who we were watching, was it Despicable 3? They stayed in the one Universal hotel, didn't they? And really, we're not saying anything against it because again we've not stayed there. But it's like storage space. There was one wardrobe.
Yeah.
The wardrobe had a curtain over it. And that's it. So everybody else, it's like if we stay somewhere like that, like we used to go to Greece and Cyprus and wherever, it's like the standing joke is, well, all of Tracy's stuff's going in the wardrobe to be hung up, and all my stuff's staying in the suitcase under the bed. You know, it's like the bloke thing, and it just throws in there. It don't really matter. Whatever. But I'd like more storage space.
But that's the same with the Walt Disney
World things. Yeah.
Well, I don't call them budget resorts, but whatever they call them. Certainly All Stars, you get like one rail, and you don't get a lot of. Yeah,
I mean we've just discussed this, weren't we? Like where I stayed in the Quality Inn, that's now the Rosen Inn. It was a family suite, they called it. There was two double beds. There was a tiny little kitchenette at the end, and a little sort of sofa. The sofa pulled out as well, so technically it could sleep 6. And I was like, to be fair, that with 2 adults and there was 2 kids in there, it was crowded. You were literally on top of each other. I mean, at the end of the 2 weeks, it was sort of like, we had to get out the room every night. So the thing, you used to go back, get changed, but you couldn't relax again because there wasn't anywhere really to sit and chill. Because once you got the sofa was only like a 2-person sofa. So once you've got the kids are sitting on there watching Cartoon Network or whatever it was back then, you were sitting on the bed, and that used to really bug me. And I say, come on, we'll go out. And we used to end up walking up and down our drive, or we'd go down to the little bar restaurant, which was nice. It was nice.
But then as well, by comparison, you say, so Rob won't have to go to the fridge to get my drinks this time.
Somebody else
Somebody else will bring the drinks. Hopefully, we can call a nice waiter over or whatever at the hotel. Yeah. So I am looking forward to it, and it will be good. But let us know your experience.
Yeah, I mean, what we like about staying in Davenport, going back to that, is the driving again. Is like,
I love driving.
You see so much more when you're driving. Like you're driving along and you'll go, when we went down to the coast one day, we went past the Dino Land.
That looks good, we said.
And it was just like, you go randomly, there's a big Diplodocus sticking out the top of this massive fence, and it's like, no, just see a dinosaur there. You're like, yeah, so you go past as soon as you further around the thing, just like, yeah, Dino Land. And then Tim Tracker did a video about it a couple of years ago now, 18 months back. He went round, there's all these big dinosaurs hidden, there's a trail and loads of facts and fun figures about dinosaurs, and you learn stuff. And I was like, it's one of those, you go, oh!
So you wouldn't know those things if you're not driving around. But maybe even just little stuff like restaurants, we'll be on our way somewhere, we'll turn onto a thing, we think, oh, they've built a new whatever here, a new Target or a new shopping mall or a new whatever.
New Best Buy, so I'm looking there, and
so it's just that.
Dollar Tree.
Don't start with the Dollar Tree. But we do like, both of us like driving anyway in America and in Orlando. So it doesn't bother us driving. I actually find I'm excited about getting in the car and driving.
It's that whole thing of coming out the airport and the doors open, you've got that tropical smell goes, bah, and watches over you. So that's how you know you're in Orlando when those doors open, and then you walk in and you go to the garage and there's like a row of cars as far as the eye can see. Just which one can I have? You go,
just anything in that row.
Anything in that row or that row. You're like, okay. And then you have the debate, what colour do you want? Oh, we had a black one last time. Do we have a red one? You know, I was like, you're not paying for it, just pick one out. Let's go. Let's get going.
So yeah, we love the whole driving thing. So yeah, I think I will reserve judgment until I've been to Holiday. Yeah. I am excited about staying at Disney Springs.
I mean, to be fair, like the hotel does look really nice, and what we've seen about it, see people looking about it as well. And there's a nice restaurant in there. And there's a Joffrey's coffee shop in there, so I can go down and in the morning, like I get ready, like most guys, let's be honest, get ready really quick, and I'm not sitting around bored. I'm like, right, I'm going for a cup of coffee. I'll just wander around. Go downstairs, get a Joffrey's and a free paper, and sit in the lobby, having a paper, reading drinking my coffee, and away we can go. And Trace comes in, swinging a bag with her ears.
Park ready.
Park ready, you know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So
we are looking forward to it. So yeah, so basically loads of options. If you've never been before, hopefully you'll investigate some of the things we've mentioned and see what would work best for you and your family, be it a younger family, an older family. Extended family, whatever. If you have been before and you've stayed somewhere we haven't, drop us a comment, let us know what you think.
Definitely.
Also, so we can investigate it perhaps. Also, if you've stopped at some of the places we have stopped at, and you want to compare notes.
Yeah, because we were like the last time we went, we stayed at Callabay Park, which is just down the road from Highlands Reserve.
My favourite house.
Man, that place was picture perfect. It was beautiful.
I want to pick the Callabay Park house up and put it in Highlands Reserve. That would be my ultimate.
Yeah, Callabay Park's a newer part, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. It was a massive house. It was a big house. We'd specifically had a bigger, fancier house because it was the year we were getting married and we were going with your kids and their partners, so they were adults. You know, we wanted everybody to have their own space, their own lounge, their own.
But the garden was perfect as well. Yeah. A big pool. Big, massive lanai, landscapes and nice trees. It was framed by palm trees as well. So you could see there's loads of light, but people couldn't drive past and see you like by the pool or whatever. So
that we looked at it as well, thinking that once we'd got married, we could go back there and take some photographs, which we did. So all of our wedding photos, apart from the ones taken actually at the Osceola County Courthouse, all of them are standing in the garden of the house that we rented. So and they were beautiful, lovely. So that made it for us really. So that house I've got a real soft spot for. Yeah. But I do like Highlands Reserve.
We were watching A Place in the Sun.
As we always do.
And all Florida's on there. And before we was going in 2018, and we were watching it, and I saw this in Callabay Park, and there was a house for sale there, which is the mirror of our house. It's literally exactly the same. 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, pool, jacuzzi, bar, big kitchen, diners, spare rooms, landings. There's like 2 lounges, wasn't there, and bits of bobs. And this old couple couldn't believe it was on sale. It was $199,000, fully furnished, which is, you're sitting there going, what are we doing wrong here?
What are we doing? Why do we not live there?
Man, alive, I tell you, it was just stunning. It was a beautiful area as well, because we were literally bang where we normally want to be. But it was really, really beautiful house. Really we keep looking at it. You find it on the website.
Owners Direct.
Owners Direct.
Which is what we normally book.
So we keep going back on that, and I keep putting the number in and go, having another look, and then like yesterday, me and my lad were texting again about, I've got to get me a lucky dip on the lotto and whatever. I did that thing, what if, and Tracy came into the living room yesterday. So what you doing? I was on the iPad looking, and I was like, I'm looking on real estate. Real estate on Davenport area.
Nobody else do that, by the way.
Yeah, you're just looking. And we found a beautiful house on Champions Gate. 550,000, 8 bedrooms, 8 bed. They converted 2 of the bedrooms into cinema rooms, and they were huge. The rooms were huge. You're just thinking, man alive. So, they've got a games room as well, haven't they, for the kids?
Yeah.
They've got a games room, 2 cinema rooms.
Star Wars room and a...
Star Wars. The only thing that put me off from buying it, that was the only thing, not the fact I haven't got the money.
550,000.
But they've got this beautiful, recently redone deck area. And there's an outside kitchen and a pop-up bar where you press the button and the thing comes up. There's a hob and an oven and a pizza oven and everything wasn't there, and a built-in fridge. But the pool was tiny. The pool was like Well, that's ridiculous. I'm buying that. That pool's stupid.
So we won't buy that.
No, we're not buying it now.
Last night,
I know, I've got to check.
So we could be sat here millionaires.
We could.
We could be buying a house.
Man, that'd be a good video to show you, wouldn't it? Honestly,
yeah. We'll do an update if we've won the lottery and we're about to buy a house in Devonport. But it won't be happening anyway.
As to that, we're going to go off there. We're going to upload this. We're going to finish the blog. I've just got a few bits I just want to do on that. And then we'll start getting bits and bobs done. And then, as it stands now, with our brand new app, we have 321 days until we go again. So that's fingers crossed and everybody willing. So that's
it. So have a good week all and stay safe. And we'll get everything sorted and uploaded and finished.
Yeah,
and,
do that. And please let us know where you stay and what you'd like to do, whether it's a villa or it's an apartment or a townhouse or Disney World or things like that, you know. Please comment and let us know. Because we're going to be putting this on Insta as well, so let us know on Insta or Twitter or Facebook. We're on, so drop us a line and tell us what you'd like to do. Yeah, because we love chatting. It's lovely talking to people and seeing everybody's different version, because everybody has a different way of doing things, and that's what I love about it. You can make the holiday what you want to do, can't you?
Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe, please. Like us, share us, subscribe, please.
Bring us up to your friends.
Yes. Please, we'd be so grateful.
We will.
Thank you very much for listening to our usual nonsense chit-chat.
Chatting, whatever. That's all we do. So.
And we'll see you, actually maybe not next week, but anyway. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.